How would you rate the podcast setup?
Okay, I would rate it a solid like 8 out of 10. Like the ambient lighting. I like the beanbag chair. It's very cozy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of audio settings are kind of like sterile, but this feels so nice. It's like a little chat between friends.
Yay. Do you notice the candle?
Yes, it's a nice touch.
How does it smell?
Is it vanilla?
No.
Oh.
Does it smell familiar?
Is it supposed to be a dessert?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What is it?
It's chocolate croissant.
Oh, that's so specific.
Yeah, but like once you know, you're like, oh wait.
Yeah, that's a chocolate croissant.
That's definitely chocolate croissant.
That's so
It's
specific.
Trader Joe's.
Oh my God. The butteriness?
Yes. There's like the
good.
chocolate, the butter.
Yeah.
It smells like baked goods.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of obsessed with it.
Joe, you did it again. Truly.
Joe. We did it, Joe. Well, welcome to the Hoot and Holler podcast.
Yay.
I have a very special guest with me today. This is one of my dear friends, and she is an accomplished artist, a chef for the ages, and a wonderful host of parties. This is Michelle Kim.
Hi, guys.
Welcome to the podcast.
It's really good to be here. Thank you so much.
Of course. We have a fun topic planned for today, and we really want to dive into relationships, dating, and I guess just love in general.
Yes, my favorite topic.
Why do you love it so much?
I love talking about love. I love hearing like messy relationships. I love hearing good relationships. I think it really is so much fun.
Yes, I love the tea. Yes. I feel like there's so much relationship drama, and it gets juicy.
I'm excited.
Let's just start. Like, how many relationships have you been in?
Ooh, oh my gosh.
Let's dive right in.
What counts as a relationship?
How would you define it?
I think it's kind of hard because I think like I like dated with the quotation marks and stuff. You know, like your 5th grade boyfriend, like that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, that's cute.
Yeah. And then I think I was a bit of like a serial monogamist until college.
Okay.
Like I dated from like 5th grade to 12th grade. And then I was like, oh, okay, we need to unpack that. And then in college, I was like single for a really long time. And then I was like, okay, I'm more comfortable with myself. Go date people, be like a better person.
Oh, so you didn't really start dating until after you graduated?
I dated some in college also, but
Okay.
I feel like a lot of those don't count. Did you do like online dating for a while?
Yeah.
My personal take is that like for me, I didn't really count any of my like Tinder dates as actual dates.
What if you had multiple? Like a first, second, third. Would you count that?
I think for me, no.
Whoa.
I think that you have to have the exclusive talk. Or I have to have the exclusive talk for it to count as a relationship for me.
Oh, for a relationship.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
I think that when it got to that point, I think a lot of the times I said no, just because I don't really connect or didn't connect with a lot of the people I matched with.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them ended on the kind of weird notes.
Did you give them like multiple dates, or were there a lot of times where you were like, date 1, I know my answer, this is not gonna work?
Yeah. This is so bad. I had like a notes app ready so I could like Mad Libs it where I like fill in the blank of like dear da, da, and I just like let them know, kind of being like, I'm not really good at beating around the bush. I'm just like, I just want you to know that I had like a lovely time, but I don't really see this working out, and I would just like to let you know in advance so that we don't like have any hard feelings in the future.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people were very receptive to that, of being very
good.
upfront.
I love that you have like the form ready.
Yeah.
Because that's it's true when you're doing online dating, like you have to go through so many people, and it's hard to judge just based on the profile. So you have to meet them. And like creating a custom rejection letter for each one, that's a lot of work.
It is a lot. You know, when you're like kind of, what's that word again? When they're charcuterie board dating?
What is that?
Okay, this is a term I made up myself.
Okay, I love it.
It's like in your 20s, you like making charcuterie boards, you like making girl dinner, you like sampling different types of people and just like kind of figuring out what your relationship is.
Oh, yeah.
Like what kind of people you like to hang out with, what kind of dates you like. And I think that everybody should go through a charcuterie board dating phase in their life.
You need to trademark that fast.
Yes.
Because that's going to catch on.
It's patent pending.
Perfect. So you had your charcuterie phase, and are you good to like
talk
about your current relationship?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I ship you guys so much.
That makes me really happy.
You guys are so cute together.
Oh, thank you.
And you compliment each other so nicely. And it's like fun hanging out with you guys.
Oh my God. Nat's going to hear all of this later.
Yes.
Yeah, I love her. I'm so glad that Nat and I started dating. Oh my gosh. I started dating Nat right at the tail end of my charcuterie board experience. Oh, Natalie is my partner. We've been dating for 5 years. And we were roommates before we started dating.
And they were roommates.
Yeah. I also dated a lot of men before Nat. And Nat was like the first girl I dated. So I sent out a lot of my rejection letter forms to a lot of people who were like very nice about it and being like, congrats on coming out. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you gave them like an explanation.
Yeah.
You're like, she's the one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I got together with my roommate and they're like, I'm very happy for you. And I'm like, thank you.
I love the support.
Yeah.
That's kind of surprising because I feel like sometimes like the online dating world can be kind of cutthroat, a little harsh. So it's like a little heartwarming that they had your back.
I don't know. I'm very judgmental on dating apps where if the minute I get like a bad vibe or like a red flag kind of feeling, I'm like, this isn't it. Like there are so many people out there that if I won't get weird feelings from.
Yeah. And you're like, we're not taking this a step farther.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of red flags, I know this is something we love to talk about.
Yes.
So let's chat about some of our personal red flags.
Well, first I want to know what your red flags are. Like your red flags, your green flags, your beige flags.
I think you should explain the beige flag because this is a term I just learned today from you.
So beige flag is like something that isn't like a deal breaker, but it's like a little bit like gives you the ick, or like it could be that like, oh, if it weren't for all these other like good attributes you have, I would have broken up with you. Like my beige flag is that like anytime I watch a YouTube video, I'm immediately thinking like, I can do that. And I feel like some people are like, that's so weird, or like that's like a bit too overconfident for my taste kind of thing.
Has someone told you that?
I think that if I saw somebody else doing that, I'm like, that's a bit of a beige flag.
Okay,
like, why do you think you can do that?
I love the confidence though. I do love that. Okay. Let's think. I have a good red flag.
Oh, what's your red flag?
One of my biggest red flags is someone who says they live to travel.
Oh.
Just in my personal experiences, like, you know that if you go on a date with them, it's all you're going to hear about. They're going to recount every travel experience they've ever been on. You're going to hear every detail about their trip to Europe and all the hostels they lived in. And honestly, I prefer a conversation. Like, I'm not here to listen to a story. I have podcasts for that. I want to converse. I think also people who say they love to travel tend to be a little wishy-washy.
No, I can see that. It's like the people who are like, I love The Office. And it's like, okay. Like, who doesn't?
Exactly. Yes. They're like it's like, do you actually love that? Or are you just saying what you think other people want to hear on your profile?
Ask me about Prague. I'm like, I will not. I will not be doing that.
No, I really don't care about Prague. I know so many people who have been to Prague and I've heard a lot of stories. I don't really need to hear more. I think that's one of my biggest ones. Yeah. Also, travel is very expensive. So if you're with someone who loves to travel, it's like, okay, but who's paying for this? And I probably won't be able to tag along because I'm poor. So
it's hard out there.
Yeah. Good luck, though. Like, all the best on your travels. But I don't want to be involved. So is a green flag like if someone displays this quality, you're automatically in?
Or it's like something that gives you like good vibes about a person.
Okay. Good vibes about a person.
I think for me, this is for men specifically. I like it when men like cats.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay, I think men who hate cats is a bit of a red flag for me.
What do you think it is behind that?
I do think there's a little bit of like, you don't like your partner, or you don't like your partner who is like going to be giving clear boundaries. And I think that you want somebody to unconditionally love you. And I think that personally, I can't be doing that kind of stuff.
Oh, so it's just the fact that they say, I will not live with a cat. It's less so about the cat itself. It's just the fact that they're setting such a clear, hard no.
There's been this thing lately of like, oh, people who don't like cats, it's because they don't like it when cats scratch them. And cats usually scratch when they're like, don't touch me anymore, or like, I'm feeling overwhelmed, like that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then they're like, well, why isn't this cat like cuddling me? And I think that it's like that kind of thing is like, oh, but like the cat doesn't want you to touch it right now. Like if the cat will like come to you when it like wants to be pet, and if you're patient enough for that, then it's like a cat is a good companion. But like people who are like dog people, or people who are like, I hate cats because like they set up clear boundaries, and it's like, okay, that's a bit of a red flag to me.
I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah, so cats are like the ultimate test for a man. Like if you can't get along with a cat, you're not going to get along with me.
Yeah, truly.
Because you're impatient, you're a little aggressive, and they don't have much consideration for the cat's feelings, clearly.
Yeah.
They're getting scratched.
And I set a lot of boundaries.
True. And then, so that's like your green flag and your red flag.
Yeah.
All
it's
tied
the
into
cat
one.
test.
The cat test. What about beige flags?
This might be going into like socioeconomic things. I feel like if I meet somebody and they don't tip 20% at dinner, I feel like that's a beige flag to me.
Are you serious?
It doesn't matter if like it doesn't matter about like the service at all. If it's dinner, you have to tip 20%, man.
20% is high.
I think that's the thing. It's like, that's why I'm like, okay, you might have your own circumstances. Like that's not like a red flag to me. But I feel like it's like so weird when they're like, yeah, we waited a long time for our food. And I'm like, they can't control that. It's busy in here.
Interesting. I might have to debate you on this one because I don't know. I think tipping culture in the US is like so extreme. So I don't know. I don't know if I don't feel that way. Like I think if someone skipped on a tip entirely, I'd be like, yeah, that's messed up. But like 15%, 18%, like I'm not gonna.
Like for dinner though.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. Is that, see what I do like rough math. So I usually will just try to make a round number. And then I do the little trick where it's like move the decimal place over and then like multiply by 2. And then whatever that number is, I just like make it so it's an even number. But I usually round down.
Wait, that's really, I feel like somebody taught me that trick and I've been doing it wrong for like 5 years, where I like was actually tipping like 10% by accident.
Oh no, you weren't multiplying by 2. That's the problem.
That's the one I forgot. And I was like, I remember Nat like looked at my receipt and she was like, you're tipping them $10. I'm like, yeah, it's like the little trick. And she's like, you have to multiply this.
Yeah, because if you only move the decimal, that's 10%.
Yeah. I think I did that for like 5 years until like somebody told me what I was doing.
Oh, listen, we're artists. We're not
so bad at
mathematically inclined.
I always also feel kind of stupid when I take out my calculator to do the tip.
Oh no, I do the same thing.
Okay, that makes you feel better.
Yeah, because like I watched a video on YouTube and it was like the suggested tips. A lot of the times they lie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it'll be like, oh, this is what 18% of your bill is, but then it's really like 25%.
Wait, really?
Yeah. And also a lot of times they'll include the tax when really your tip is supposed to be like on your subtotal. So that already with tax, that's 10% higher.
Oh, wow.
So they're trying to get you. I say do your own math. Pull out that calculator.
I need help.
No shame in that.
It's been a while.
I just thought of another red flag actually.
Oh, what is it?
Because now that we're talking about like purchases and economics, I think someone who like, okay, this might be bad. Well, no, this is just how I feel. It's not bad. But someone whose like primary love language is gift giving. Oh, that for me personally is not good. If you love gift giving, then like this isn't going to bother you. But I feel like there's kind of an expectation where like if someone just gives you a random gift and that's how they show their love, now it's like, okay, now I'm obligated. And then it feels more like a chore than something I'm doing out of love. So personally, that's not for me. Maybe, yeah, no, it's a red. I was going to be like, maybe that's a beige flag, but I think that's just a red flag for me.
What is your love language?
I think my love language is quality time.
Oh.
And maybe like acts of service. Yeah. I feel like I have like my full-time job. I'm trying to do this podcast. I do freelance work. Like I'm pretty busy. So like me dedicating my time to like spend with you is like how I show love. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense, but and that's how I like if I want to like hang out with people and I'm like, I'm free like all month, pick a day, and they like can't find a day. To me, that's like heartbreaking. Because because I'm like, you can't find like one day in a month to hang out with me, because that's my love language. So I'm like, must not be a very high priority in your life.
No. Did you ever date somebody like that before?
Who didn't give me time?
Uh-huh.
No, I've never had that issue.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. I've had like some like close friends though who are big gift givers, and I appreciate it, but I've like also told them like, we don't have to. I don't want anything. Like, I'm good. I also think it's because I'm I wouldn't say I'm a minimalist, but like I'm very intentional with like the things that I have, that I own and that are in my space. So like if someone gives me something that I don't necessarily want, I'm like, okay, now I feel obligated to keep this and like find a spot for it, but I don't really need it or want it. So that stresses me out too. What is your love language?
Mine is acts of service.
It's a good one.
It is. I feel like, because Nats is also quality time. I think for me, quality time scored like kind of low.
Oh, really?
It was like surprisingly a lot lower than I thought it'd be. I think mine was like, my first one was acts of service and my second one was gift giving.
Okay.
Because I think I need like something like actions speak louder than like words. And I also like, sometimes I get like overwhelmed very easily, especially if like work is hard or if I'm stressed out or if I did like too many things today or talked to too many people. It's like I need to like hole up in my room where like nobody talks to me and nobody touches me for like 30-40 minutes. And I'm like, Natalie, I love you, please don't come into this room for 30 minutes.
You need to recharge.
Yeah,
the social battery is drained.
It really, and it gets drained so fast, and then I get like very like shut downy, and then it's like I'm just a rock on the floor for like 30 minutes.
It feels kind of nice though to have that time, because I'm kind of the same way. Like I think I'm an ambivert, I would say. So like if I'm alone for too long, I get stressed, but if I'm around people for too long, I get stressed. So it's like a very delicate balance. But like I also know I have my boundaries, and I'm like, today is not the day. Like it's nothing personal, but I need my rock on the floor time.
It's rock time.
Yeah. Where does words of affirmation rank for you?
I think that was my last.
Okay.
Yeah, I think just because sometimes I say I love you and I don't mean it to people. Because I didn't know you were supposed to mean it for a really long time.
Okay. I think we should talk about that actually, because I feel like that's such a weird thing that like movies and like media in general has created, where it's like if you say I love you, it's like the big deal. I don't know. I don't personally agree with that. I think you can feel love in many different ways. I don't think saying I love you means like I don't know what does it mean? My
previous long-term relationship, he was like, I love you means we're going to get married in the future. And I was like, whoa.
Oh my God, that's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure. And I was like, I think that made me stop saying I love you to people, that when I was like, okay, I should maybe try meaning it, because that was really intense.
Oh, I don't think that's true. Yeah. I don't think saying I love you means, I think like getting on one knee means we're going to get married.
Right?
Like there's definitely a distinction.
We're also in high school, by the way.
Oh, wow. It's probably something he picked up from a movie, because they really are like, they make it such a big deal for no reason.
I think I said it a bit too flippantly before. I don't know. I kind of equaled it the same, where it's like, I love my friends. Yeah. And like, I love hanging out with you. And therefore, that must mean I love you. So I would just say that.
Wait, that whole thing you would say?
No,
like the equation?
Like,
oh, okay.
I love you. And I'm like, oh yeah, I love you too. Because I love hanging out with you. And I didn't realize you were actually supposed to like, I don't know, love the person unconditionally or whatever. But even now I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's not that big of a deal.
It's a nice way to like affirm how you feel without, saying you're going to marry each other. It's like reassurance.
Yeah. I will say that the other guy was very intense about a lot of stuff.
And that's a red flag.
That was a red flag. There are a lot of red flags in that I should have seen.
Well, it's high school.
Yeah.
You're a little more willing to accept flaws
Oh my
and
God.
scary behavior.
Can you imagine marrying your high school ex?
I mean, some people marry their high school love, their like high school sweetheart.
Oh my gosh. I feel like it really is like you won the lottery. That was like a 1 in a trillion chance and you won the lottery.
Yeah. I feel like you'd have to go to the same college to like maintain that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I feel like long distance that young has got to be tough.
Mm-hmm. Like if you think about who you were in high school and who you are now, that's like two completely different people. Like ideally you didn't peak in high school.
I don't agree with that
Really?
either. No, because I feel like so many people are like, I don't even recognize the person I was in high school, and I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm exactly the same person.
You're a good person in high school. That's crazy.
Wait, are you saying I'm a good person?
You're a good person.
Aw.
Like if you're this mature in high school, that would be crazy.
I wouldn't say I've transformed really in any significant way.
I feel like I changed a lot of my outlook in life.
What's like the biggest one?
I think my biggest one was crying. I think for a while in high school I didn't cry, and I thought it was like crying was like a weakness. But I'm like, no, you should like try like not being emotionally constipated for like 5 seconds. It's really nice. And I think also my outlook on therapy was also really like so different in like high school compared to now. Or I think in high school I'm like, oh, you should go to therapy for help. But I feel like now I'm like, maybe everybody should go to therapy.
Yeah. You've like opened up to the idea of it.
Yeah.
More willing to accept help. Was there like a trigger that flipped for like the emotional switch?
Oh my gosh. I lived in like a small Koreatown area near Atlanta where it's like everybody's a little bit emotionally constipated in this town.
Oh, wow.
Especially because like, when you go back to your hometown, you kind of are like, oh, like certain people from your high school like stayed in your hometown, and you kind of like remember who you used to be in high school and how you are now is kind of different. I guess not you, but like how you're different from
like,
your
I
friends.
don't relate.
I was like talking to my sister once, and my sister started crying. No, wait, sorry. I started crying in front of my sister, and her initial reaction was like, oh my God, like, no, like, stop crying. It's okay. And I think that was like the thing where it just like reminded me when Natalie and I first started dating, and like she started crying in front of me. I said the same thing where I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, stop crying. And I was like, I thought that those were reassuring words, but then she was like, why are you telling me to like stop crying? I'm sad. I should be able to cry. And I'm like, yeah. I don't know why I said that to you. That was like kind of weird. And then like when I did the same thing with my sister, I'm like, oh, that's why. Like we are the same in a way that like I like look at my sister almost like I'm looking a bit in my past self, where I'm like, maybe we shouldn't be telling people like don't cry as a soothing thing. Instead just like let them cry and like let them sit in that bad emotion.
Yeah. We're encouraged to bury our emotions so much. I think it all ties into capitalism.
It's
where
true.
It's like any crack in emotion is like a crack in efficiency and productivity. And it's like, yeah, maybe we should feel things. Maybe we should be inconvenienced from time to time, and that's okay.
It was just like such an eye-opening moment where it's like, oh, I said that to somebody I loved, and now that somebody's saying it to me, it kind of feels like shit.
And now you cry
Yeah.
all day, every day.
Yeah, I really tapped into that triple Pisces in me.
Oh, you're also a triple Pisces?
Are you also a triple
Yes.
Pisces? Oh my gosh.
I'm like, I think I have like it in 4 of my houses. Is that
Oh.
houses? I think that's a thing.
I don't think I looked at my houses. I know it's like my sun, moon, and rising.
Oh, it's my sun and moon, but my rising is, I think, Sagittarius.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's true?
I guess so, because I'm friends with someone who's really into astrology. And when I told them, they're like, that makes so much sense, because I would have assumed that you're a fire sign.
Oh.
And I was like, that's interesting, because I don't really identify. I don't think I'm a fiery person. But I do identify with like the emotional like aspects of Pisces and like the dreamer status. So I feel like it fits. Do you feel the same about yourself? Not me.
I feel like it fits now.
You didn't always feel that. Oh, because you were an
Because it
emotional
didn't
rock.
cry.
Yeah. That's true.
And now I'm very emotional.
You just had to grow into your true Pisces form.
Yeah. That's really strange to think about.
And now the water flows.
This is so stupid. I like cry about concepts sometimes.
Oh, like what?
Like I like, oh my God, you know that scene in The Good Place at the end? Did you watch it?
I've only seen the first season.
Oh my God.
But you can spoil it. I don't care.
It's like they reached the good place, and like heaven, like as a concept, is basically like they recreated. So like the last episode, like spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, is that heaven is going to be that you have as much time to do anything you've ever wanted to do, to be with whoever you want, as long as like the person is dead also, but like you just have infinite time to like explore everything. And like I do think that there's like a concept of nirvana in this, where it's like you're basically almost like purging yourself of world desires, like anything that you have ever missed out on in life because you didn't have money, or like people that you didn't hang out with because you didn't have time. Like in the Good Place's version of heaven, it's like you have an infinite amount of that. And when you're done, you like go through a doorway and basically be obliterated.
Whoa.
Yeah, because it's like you're done. Like you have reached like your level of nirvana, basically.
Yeah, you're fully satisfied as like a being. Huh.
And then like I was thinking about that as a concept, and it made me cry because I was like, oh, like wouldn't that be so nice if I could just spend every single day like in bed with Natalie and we just read comics together, and like that's just gonna happen until we run out of comics or video games, and then we'll both obliterate ourselves. And then that made me cry a little bit.
Oh, I mean, that is a really cute image.
Yeah.
Obliteration.
Yeah.
So cute.
I hope that's heaven.
The way that you cry with concepts, I get emotional with music. So if there's like a musical score in any movie that has like the slow, like sad, a minor key, I'll cry on cue. It gets me every time.
Oh my, I think the thing that gets me every time in movies is when everybody bands together and like despite their differences defeats the bad guy.
That like unifying moment.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
I don't know why that makes me cry, so I like and that turns around like, are you crying?
I think what does it for me is family relationships.
Oh.
So it's usually like a child and they're like mom or dad, and if there's any sort of like break in that relationship, but then later a reunion, the reunion is what gets me.
Oh.
Or when like a child is trying to like live in their parents' footsteps, and then they finally like reach that point where they're like, my parent would be so proud.
Whoa.
That's what gets me. Or when dogs die.
I don't know if you play video games or if you played Last of Us 2.
I haven't.
There's this one part where you have to kill a dog.
You have to?
You have to move the plot forward. You have to shoot a dog, and it's like so horrible.
Oh, why would they do that?
I have no idea.
That's inhumane.
It was like so weird, or like very jarring tonally for The Last of Us.
It's crazy how in a video game, like you shoot and kill people all the time and it's fine. But then like when it's a dog, then you have an emotional problem. I went on Reddit and there's a forum called r/dating advice.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
And I wanted to get your take on a couple things.
Okay.
So I found this post and I thought it was interesting. So it's called, "So I baked my date cookies, ...
Was there weed in the?
There's not.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Okay, so it's about this girl and she's been seeing this guy for a month. They're not in a relationship yet, but they're really taking their time to get to know each other. On one of their first dates, he told her that a lot of women date him for his money or for materialistic reasons. And that made her feel really sad because he's a really nice guy. Also on one of their first dates, he said that he loved cookies. So the next time they met up, she baked him 24 cookies and brought them to his house. Oh, and he said that he enjoyed them so much. He had the biggest smile on his face. But the girl is wondering, is that a weird gesture to bring 24 cookies to this man's house?
No. Right?
You don't think so?
Wait, how old are they?
It doesn't give ages, but they sound older.
I don't think so at all.
I don't think so either.
Wait, why would that be weird?
The post was asking about the cookies, but people really latched on to something else.
Oh,
Do you know what it was?
Was it breast milk? Did she like jerk the cookie?
No. It was something in the story that they're
okay.
like, oh, that's not good.
Oh, okay. Is it the materialistic thing?
Yeah. A lot of people on Reddit are saying this is a huge red flag.
What?
That he's saying on an early date that a lot of women only date him for his money. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Why is that?
That is okay. I wanted to say that was a red flag for me, but I think that was like a personal thing. I just think that you're bringing first, I think you're bringing trauma into the relationship on the first date.
Okay.
I think that it is good to be upfront about these things, but I think that if you are stating on the first date that this is your trauma, then maybe you're not ready for a relationship.
Okay, like you need to grow out of that phase
Yeah.
before you start a new one.
I think it's okay to be like, I'm like getting better about it. But if your first thing is like, women used to date me for my money, this might be me reading a bit too much into it, like a heteronormative thing about like a lot of men being like, women only want two things, and it's like money and sex and like that kind of thing, where it's like, just in general, when people speak badly of their exes on the first date also, or like the first couple dates, it's usually like they have a lot of baggage they're bringing in. And number two, it's like they have a perception of you already, of like what this relationship is going to be.
They have like preconceived notions going in. And clearly some like weird biases against women.
Yeah.
Because he's like, how would one know, I guess, right? That people are only dating him for his money. Like, is that something that was proven, or is that like an insecurity of his? It's interesting.
Oh, a little bit feels like, you know, in interviews when they're like, oh, what are your weaknesses? And you're like, I'm too much of a perfectionist. Like, it feels a little bit of a humble brag as well, where I'm like,
right? Like he's showing off.
Yeah.
A lot of people on this forum were also like, it feels a little bit like a test. Because it's almost like, okay, this is how women have treated me in the past. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
And it would kind of, I feel like it would set strange expectations in the relationship where it's like, you can't ask for anything or expect anything without feeling guilty or like you're using him.
Yeah.
And I feel like that right off the bat sets off weird dynamics.
No, definitely. I just don't think you should bring up something sometimes this early into a relationship. If you're not over that trauma, don't bring it into that relationship yet. Like maybe you're not ready for a relationship.
Some things are better left unsaid. He can be insecure about it, but like keep it in your head.
Yeah. Like don't put that on another person like that.
Yeah. Not this early.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. So this is a 28-year-old man, and he was dating a 29-year-old woman. He said this is his dream girl. She's smart, loving, charismatic, and kind. And in the beginning, he was chasing her and pursuing her pretty hard, pretty aggressively. So he was showering her with gifts and compliments and taking her on like lavish dates. And eventually they did start an official relationship. But as the months went on, she feels like the pursuit has really died down, and she felt like she's being taken for granted. And that he's not really showing how much that he cares about her anymore. So she ended up breaking up with him. Whose side are you on?
The girl side.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh my gosh. I think this is like another really big thing I see in couples sometimes, where it's like the honeymoon phase. You should like be over it and then like start fighting. It's like, I don't know. I feel like you should always be dating your partner. You should not have to settle for like a roommate situation. It's like a very slippery slope that you could just like slide into roommates very fast. And I think that in order to keep like a romance alive, you should like be showing her like how much you love her. It just feels like you won your prize and now you're done.
Yeah, for sure.
That feels kind of, I don't know, bad.
I agree with you. I actually think they're both in the wrong.
Oh, really?
Because I think he went in way too hard, starting off going that aggressively and treating her that way set unrealistic expectations. And then I also think maybe she had unrealistic expectations for that to continue. Because I do feel like eventually you have to land in like a normal area. When you're initially starting in the dating phase, it's exciting, it's adventurous. You're willing to do like 3-4 like dates in a week even to kind of like keep the momentum going. But I feel like that's not sustainable. An expectation for like being showered in gifts and like constant dates is also not super realistic. They just weren't on the same page about anything.
Do you know who wrote this? Whether it was like the guy or the girl?
It was the guy, yeah.
I always feel like there's a little bit of a bias where like, what if she, instead of her being like, I want you to shower me with like expensive gifts and like dates and stuff, what if she just like wanted some attention and like, oh, after it feels like we started dating and I said yes to you, you don't like, you don't see me in a romantic light almost, like you won your prize and this is it. I think it was like on TikTok where it's like every Valentine's Day you should ask your significant other, doesn't matter how long you've been together, to be your Valentine.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it's like of course they're gonna say yes. Like,
yeah.
But I think it's like that kind of like small gesture. Like what if he like took her words into a different way when she was like, you're not pursuing me anymore.
For him, it was really about the thrill of the chase and not really about what comes after.
Yeah.
Like he accepted blame. He was like, I definitely like tapered off. I definitely fell off of what I was giving her at the beginning, but he didn't give like specifics.
Yeah.
So it's totally true. This could have been like a full neglect situation in which, yes, I'm completely on board with like team girlfriend. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
From the post. You have to kind of like read between the lines to see to get the full story.
Can you tell when people are in love with you?
Probably. Yeah.
Really?
I feel like it's like a look in the eyes.
I feel like I can tell when men are in love with me. I can't tell when women are in love with me.
What is the difference?
I feel like with men, they're usually pursuing me a little bit harder, where they're like constantly like talking to me or like trying to hang out with me. I feel like with women, sometimes I'm like, okay, but do you like me as like a friend, or is it like a different kind of like are you like actually pursuing me? Or do you just want like a really good friendship? Because I could show up for both, but I just need to know where we're at right now.
Is it uncommon for like men to pursue you for a friendship?
No, I think that it's like, it feels a little different though. Oh my God, this is like such a specific thing. And I don't know why men do this to me specifically. Whenever a guy likes me, they usually bake me bread. Like
sourdough?
Yeah, I don't know
why.
Oh my gosh,
okay.
Like something about me and my image, they're like, you look like a girl who could eat a lot of bread.
Wow.
So for a while, I think like before I started dating Nat, most of my Tinder dates just brought me bread that they made. So for
That's
like,
so funny.
yeah, for a week we had like 3 to 5 loaves of bread always going on.
Wow. Okay.
I don't even know why. It's not that I even like bread that much. They just kept showing up with it.
If I like were to meet you for the first time, I don't know that my mind would go to bread.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that one was. But I think
maybe it was like a TikTok trend at the time.
I wonder.
Like tips, because I feel like a lot of men who are in the dating scene will like watch dating tips videos. I don't know if women also do that, but it'll be like how to like show a woman you care. Bake bread, like tip number 1, bake bread for her.
Just like showing up in hordes.
Yeah.
That'd be so funny if like I just hated bread.
I have celiacs.
Like Natalie and I were just eating the bread after and I was sending these like breakup texts.
Oh my God.
And I felt so bad.
It's like I love the bread, but I don't love you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think for men also, I'm not that scared of losing the friendship sometimes. Especially when I feel like they're like interested in me. I think I immediately am like, hey, are you doing this for friendship or are you doing this for a relationship? And I feel like for women, I can't do that.
Or why do you feel that way? You don't want to like assume?
Yeah.
Okay.
For men, it's like I can be more straightforward because I won't be upset if you don't want to be friends with me anymore because of this. If you say it's like, oh, it turns out to be a relationship, and it's like, okay, like I'm not interested in a relationship, and they're like, well, I'm not interested in a friendship. I'm like, that's fine, we don't have to do this. But I feel like sometimes for like some women where if like they're like, this is a relationship, I'm like, oh damn, like I really want you to be my friend though, like that kind of feeling.
Interesting. So you just don't value male friendship.
Oh no.
Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, Aaron. I think I might just be able to become friends with women a little bit easier sometimes.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Oh, I love you, Aaron. You're my best friend.
I know a lot of people who have played like the characters at Disney, and they have horror stories.
Yeah, I can imagine.
People just don't know how to behave.
I think it's like the character thing where it's like they don't see you as a real person.
It's like a strange power dynamic too, because it's like, I paid for this experience, so I can treat you however I want.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel like the more money people pay, the more entitled they feel. And it's like, the actors are not being paid as much as you think they are to be like sitting and like putting up with your bullshit like that.
That's actually one of the theories I've been hearing. So there's been an increase in like theme park brawls. What? I don't know if you've seen any of these stories, but it's like a weekly occurrence now where there's a big fight at like Disneyland or Universal.
Oh my God.
And it's like guests punching each other or punching like employees. But a lot of people are like, well, the ticket prices to get in are so expensive now that people feel so entitled to having this incredible experience. And when that expectation isn't met, they lash out.
Oh my God.
They'll fight someone who cuts them in line. They'll fight an employee who doesn't give them good service. Like, they're just ready to throw hands.
It's not that big of a deal.
It's really not. We can talk it out.
Oh my God. I have a fun, I'm not sure if you're the one who told me this. I have a fun theme park fact I learned. And I was like, I have to tell Eric about this.
Okay.
I hope you're not the one who told me this. You know how they have a Disney in Paris?
Yeah.
Apparently, for Disneyland, they have like a very specific son of a billionaire who loves Disney. It's like a Disney adult, not in a weird way, in like a good way. And then apparently sometimes you get like very, very fixated on very specific Disney characters, like the mole from Atlanta. I don't know if that's like a real one, but it's just like as an example, like
the mole from Atlantis,
the mole guy from Atlantis, where it's just like, it's not even the main characters. It's just like this completely other side character.
Oh, weird.
So like his people would call up Disney and be like, can you get us the mole guy from Atlantis? And they'd be like, no, we don't have a costume. And they'd be like, oh, it's like for the son of this billionaire who is like one of their biggest customers. Like he like the kid's like dad puts like so much money into Disney. And they would just like, okay, we have this money, we're gonna make the costume. And they trained this one person to be the mole guy from Atlantis. What? And like 2 weeks or however much time until like the guy gets there, and then he just like meets that mole guy, and afterwards they have like an extra costume, and they're like, nobody else wants to meet the fucking mole guy from Atlantis.
No.
So then they ship the costume to Disney Paris. And some like, if you ever go to Disney Paris, apparently there's sometimes just like random characters where you're like, who is this guy? And it's like, oh, I don't know, it's like some sort of like weird background character from Lilo and Stitch. Like, why is this character here? And it's most likely because that guy requested it.
The power that billionaires have,
yeah,
it's insane. This is how you're choosing to spend your money? I'm sorry. What? The
person I heard it from was like friends with the person who during that time was playing the Queen of Hearts. Okay. And I think like the person at the time who was playing that character didn't realize who that kid was. And then like as like part of the like, you know, the character was like, oh, bow to me. And everybody freaked out because they're like, no, that's like the son of like somebody who's like very important and wealthy.
Yeah, but you don't bow to them.
Or I think it's like, oh, you should bow to me because I'm the Queen of Hearts.
Oh,
but
okay.
Apparently the kid was like a good sport and was like, haha, like, yeah, and like just said like a little bow. And I think like the person's supervisor was like, no.
I mean, hey, humble him.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it.
I think he was literally like technically a prince was the thing, which is why they're like, yeah, you can't be doing that.
Okay, so it's an actual kid. Because when you were saying like son of a billionaire, for some reason in my mind I had the idea of like an adult son.
I think it was an adult son. Sorry, when I said kid, I'm thinking like an early 20-year-old.
If you were the daughter of a billionaire, what character would you make Disney like create for you?
Oh my gosh. There's this goddess in Sinbad. She's like the goddess of chaos, and she's just so pretty, and her hair is all floaty, and she has like this beautiful dress and like long like acrylic nails. Oh. And she's like kind of she has like the sea witch vibe almost. But I feel like that character would be so fun to meet in person. She's like a giant.
Oh, she's a giant?
Because she's like a god.
So it'd have to be life size.
I just think that it would be fun to have like a like super tall, like 8 foot tall woman who looks like a sea goddess with long acrylics, who's just like in a restaurant, I don't know, meeting me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she gets shipped off to Disney Paris.
Yeah.
right after.
And then a whole new generation of people will develop an affinity for that character.
Yes.
Of French people, at least.
I want to go to Disney Paris now just to see all the random characters.
Me too, but I've heard it's really bad.
Really?
Yeah, I heard that like
no.
they kind of skimped out on attraction funding, and it's just like a cheap, poor version of Disneyland.
You meet like, who is it, Pike Lee from like Lilo and Stitch, and you're like, why are you
Wait,
here?
I love Pleakley.
Pleakley? Really?
Yes, if they had, I would be excited if I saw Pleakley at Disneyland.
Oh my gosh, you might have to go to Paris for that one.
Okay,
I
sign
think
me
that's
up.
enough of a side character that might not be at the original.
I feel like Pleakley has an audience.
Oh really?
Don't you think? And Jumba?
I love Jumba. I feel like I'm a bigger Jumba fan than a Pleakley fan.
They're awesome together. I love their
Yes.
dynamic. And then Gantu, that would be cool too.
Oh my god.
Maybe that would be mine.
Gantu?
I'd want Gantu. Or
That'd be so
Hamsterville. Do you remember I think that might have been from the show only.
Oh.
Dr. Hamsterville.
Was it another alien?
Yeah, I think he like create. Oh my god, wait. Is that Kim Possible? No, I'm like 99% sure it was Lilo and Stitch.
Uh-huh.
And it was Dr. Hamsterville, and he was the one, I think, creating the experiments.
Oh, okay. That might have been Lilo and Stitch then. I feel
Yeah.
like that sounds familiar.
That's like obscure enough where I'm like, you would have to custom make that.
Dr. Hamsterville.
That would be mine. We're going to move into the Hoot and Holler portion of the podcast. I like to think of this as like your rose and thorn. If you've ever been asked that at like summer camp or a work function.
Oh, okay.
So let's start with our hoots.
Mm.
Start on a positive note.
So there's like a Burbank Parks and Recreational Center that I didn't know about. I just like learned about it a couple months ago, and I took like a yarn spinning class there.
Ooh.
But I want to give it like the biggest hoot in the world. And I think that apparently like they have them locally in your city, I guess, or in your area. But you can take like these really good art classes for only $100 for 3 months.
3 months?
For 3 months. Isn't that so nice? They have
that's
like
insane.
jewelry making. They have ceramics. They have like weaving. They have the yarn spinning class, which Natalie and I are taking. And it's like all these like, they have figure drawing also. They have like all these amazing like art classes that are so good and readily available to like anybody who's like a resident. I think if you're not a resident, you have to pay like maybe like a $25-$30 fee in addition.
Okay.
But like if you just like check out your local Parks and Rec center for art classes, they just happen like once a week for $100 for 3 months. And I think that the money actually goes back into the community too, which is really nice. Or like it pays the teacher as well.
The one thing that I've experienced with like public programs is that a lot of times they're at weird times. It'll be like in the middle of the day, so people who work a 9 to 5 can't really attend. Are these classes at night or on the weekends?
Mine was at night.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I think that they don't mind if you come in late. It was at 5:45 though, but like,
Okay.
because most of us get off of work and stuff, they were like, it's fine if you come at 6. We don't really care.
How has yarn spinning been?
It's so much fun. I just made my first skin.
The thing that comes to my mind is Sleeping Beauty and that like spinning wheel.
Yes.
Is that actually what you use?
Yes.
That sounds scary.
It's so much fun. I just apparently there's a spinning guild also where they
What?
just like teach traditional spinning. So I learned like hand spinning and I learned the wheel also. But then my teacher, who is like a member of the spinning guild, hooked me up with a spinning wheel for like very cheap. Like these things go for like $1,200, but like it was like a used one from like one of the previous members who passed away and donated the wheel. So I got it from like at a huge discount.
So you have your own personal spinning machine.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like an old fashioned like pedal spinning machine, and I named it Gertie.
And I know you're also like an avid knitter.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can create the yarns that you
Yes.
knit with.
I think that's like my big dream is to travel somewhere and find a sheep and then shave the sheep.
Shave the sheep, transport the wool back, and then make it into a sweater.
Yeah. I've been looking up how to get a license for shaving a sheep.
Oh, I'm sure you do need a license.
Oh my god, you have to like practice under somebody as well. So I'm like maybe not that far. So I looked up tourist things instead.
Okay.
Like I don't even have to do it. I just want to watch somebody do it. I want to meet a sheep and like look it in the eye and make a sweater out of it later.
I wonder if hunters feel the same way. But this is way more humane.
I heard they do it at the LA Zoo.
The sheep there are so cute.
Oh my god.
I went a couple months ago and they recently had babies.
No.
And they were adorable, and they their habitat has like a big mountain. I guess there's some sort of like mountain variety of sheep, or maybe all sheep like mountains, I'm not sure, but they would all be like climbing up the mountain and like pushing each other off the peak and playing like King of the Hill.
That's so
They're
cute.
so cute. This week my hoot is panicking about impending financial crises.
That's your hoot?
That's my hoot. Yeah,
Like the good thing?
yeah, that's my good thing.
You panic?
Well, because so it all started where YouTube recommended some video to me. It was like, the banks are failing, and of course I clicked it. And ever since then, it feeds me all these like crazy like doom and gloom videos about how the economy is going to collapse, the housing market bubble will burst. And it's now like my feel good like morning activity where I wake up and I see like all the ways the world is going to end. And I don't know, it has some good information. It makes me feel informed in a way that I never have been before. I'm like, oh, this is how the housing market works. Oh, this is how stocks work. Like, I'm learning a lot.
That's really good.
It makes me feel like I'm in control a little bit because I'm like, I'm ahead of the curve. Like, I know the crash is coming. I'm not doing anything to prevent it or to put myself in a better position, but at least I'm aware. So that, I don't know, it makes me feel good in a way. So that's kind of been my recent activity. I do it every morning. Sometimes I do it right before bed. I just check like, what's the news? So I highly recommend checking it out.
I think it's good to have additional information.
You got to stay informed.
I don't think the housing market bubble is gonna pop.
You don't think so?
I want it to pop so bad.
Me too. I'm like, I do have a little bit of money tucked away that I'm like, when this pops, I'm swooping in. I'm ready to steal that foreclosed house because it is my time. We need to rise up. Gen Z / millennials. We got to rise up.
The way I've been looking into squatting rights.
Oh, yeah, that's good to know.
Oh my God.
Because that's really going to come in handy. All these people that own multiple houses.
Yeah.
Why? So I say squat away.
Oh my God. I think you're the first person who didn't think I was crazy for thinking that.
Really? No, I'm like, I feel like especially here in Los Angeles, like
there's so many abandoned houses.
So many. And you can easily just pop in. I don't know. Is it like 30 days or something?
I think you need proof of living. So you have to have mail sent there. I think that's a difficult one.
Oh, that is tough.
I think I could live.
I could send you a letter.
Oh, that would be. I think it has to be like a bill though.
Oh, gotcha.
Like an official like address. But I think your library card can count as one, which I found interesting.
That seems actually easy enough to achieve.
Because there's so many like I think every single street there might be an abandoned house, which is so insane to me.
Yeah, at least one.
And they're usually in like complete and total like shambles, and it's like there's obviously nobody's living there except for like raccoons, and like the person's just like sitting there because they know that if they sit there for 20 more years the land price is gonna double.
Yeah.
And they have like 4 to 5 houses that they're doing this with, and that's insane.
I feel like there needs to be like some sort of limit to like home ownership. Maybe
I think it's 2. That's my number.
2.
I think if you have 3, that's greedy.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. And like the whole like owning property just to rent it out.
Yeah.
I get that that's like a way people make money, but it feels wrong.
Oh my God, there's so many TikToks and so many Instagram reels. I'm like, how to be a landlord. I'm like, I cannot be doing this. Like, this would truly be my Joker era if I entered and became a landlord.
You live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
I really would. I don't know. Maybe I'll change if I grow older and see that I will never be able to buy a house unless I become a landlord. Even then, I don't think I could do it.
No, there's got to be another way. There's just gotta.
Squatting.
I foresee property in your future.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let's do our holler.
My holler is, I think I might be allergic to weed.
How did you find this out?
I took weed and I think my throat closed up.
Oh no. Is it, okay, did it close up in an allergy way though, or like an anxiety way?
I think in an allergy way. I think like I've done weed before, but like my throat would always close up, and I've never had an allergic reaction, so I didn't know what that was. I was like, I don't know why, but I can't breathe. And then that was like, that's a bit concerning to be saying that.
That's scary. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Maybe you can try an alternative. Like black tar heroin.
I was gonna say meth.
But, use responsibly.
Just a little.
Just a little bit. My holler this week is a very specific commercial that keeps popping up. I think it's on Hulu, but it could be Peacock. I'm not sure. But it starts with a road, and then it shows all these like close-ups of like this shiny, curvy metal, and it's like beautiful, and you think it's going to be a car commercial, and then it turns out it's for a toilet, and it's like it's highlighting the curves and the beauty of this toilet, and then the toilet is in the middle of the road. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm assuming they did that on purpose. Like they're trying to trick you into thinking it's a car commercial. But in what world do we need to be advertising toilets like this? Like, I'm not buying a Ferrari. I just need to poo.
Is it good?
I will say it's beautifully shot.
Oh shit.
But I just but I just think it's so strange. First of all, that we even have commercials for toilets. And second of all, that they chose that path.
In elementary school, I had to take this other class for a little bit. It was like that tag class. I don't know if you guys had that program. They had it in Georgia.
I don't think so.
It's like the gifted program, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they like made us study things that didn't have to do with school at all. So we learned like spy codes, and we learned like how to make toothpaste. And one of them, we learned about the psychology of advertising.
Oh, that's okay. That's actually useful.
Yeah, I think it was just like kids who like needed extra things to fill their brain space with, because we were going a little bit crazy in like school curriculum, and we were like misbehaving as a result.
Whoa.
And that's actually one of the psychologies of advertising, is like comedy, or like something where it's like, this has nothing to do with the product whatsoever, but you remember it.
Yeah, it seems effective, because I've talked about this with like my friends, and it's definitely caught my attention.
I need to see this commercial now. Like, this is how word of mouth gets around.
I think it's for like a Kohler, maybe. That's the brand of toilet. But also the thing is, like, they're making such a big deal about this toilet, but at the end of the day, it's an American toilet, and they suck, because I recently went to Japan and their toilets are off the charts. I mean, these things have automatic lids. Like, you step into the bathroom and it like the lids pop open. It like welcomes you. It shoots perfume. It's like a spa-like experience. The seats are warmed, and then they have the built-in bidet and a built-in dryer to like dry your butt when you're done. But then, you have this beautiful, I'm sure, multi-million-dollar toilet commercial, and at the end of the day, it's just a toilet.
Yeah.
I find it very upsetting.
Oh, no additional features.
Yeah, I'm personally offended that Kohler... I'm sorry. If it's not Kohler, I'm really sorry. But I'm just going to assume that Kohler would go through all this just to get someone to buy a toilet.
Kohler's going to listen to this and then sue you for defamation or defamation.
But Kohler, like, seriously, though, like, if you want more exposure, we're ready for you. Before we wrap up, I need to come clean about something.
Were we not recording?
No, we were.
Okay. I was like, oh no, Eric.
We better have been. No, we're definitely recording. I've been hiding something from you, and it's been eating away at me, so I just want to show you.
Okay.
Here we go.
It took me a while to realize what that was. Did you get...
Can you describe what you're seeing?
So I'm pretty sure this is the stick of a vacuum, and I'm pretty sure that you accidentally sucked your blinds into the vacuum, or the blind string into a vacuum. Do you need help with that?
Yes, but it's even worse than you're expecting. So, okay, listeners, I have the like about a 3-foot hose attachment from my vacuum dangling from the string that like controls my blinds. Because before you got here, I was trying to be like a good host and I was vacuuming and I vacuumed the ledge of my window and then it sucked up the the string and I couldn't pull them out. I tried everything.
Oh my gosh.
So I had the bright idea, let me just try putting pens.
Just pens?
Just pens. And I was like, and eventually like I'll have enough pens in there that I can push it out. But that didn't work, as I'm sure any rational person would realize right off the bat.
How many pens are in there?
There's 12 pens. I have 12 pens in the vacuum hose and everything is stuck. So I haven't decided how I'm going to handle this situation. But for now, I don't have a vacuum.
I want people to know also that it was hidden behind a curtain. And when Eric came over, like a little reveal, he pulled the curtain behind to reveal the vacuum stick.
I think it was pretty well hidden.
It was very well hidden.
But I couldn't live with myself hiding that secret from you.
Oh my gosh.
So if you or anyone else has any ideas, I would greatly appreciate.
Please write into the show.
Yes, please write in, comment, let me know. You can write to me at Hoot and Holler podcast@gmail.com. I think that's my email. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for joining me today, Michelle.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I want people to be able to find you because you are an incredible artist. So if you want to shout out any social media platforms, now's the time to do it.
Ooh, I am at Doing the Art, just like the sentence, Doing the Art on Instagram. I might go back onto Twitter.
No.
Okay.
It's so toxic.
It really is. I think I deleted it and I felt so good.
Yeah.
Like my brain felt like it just ate 50 M&Ms.
Well, why would you go back?
I think that I got news from it.
Okay, you feel a little out of the loop.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's valid.
Like there's no news on Instagram.
I mean, the thing is you can go on YouTube and click one video about the financial crisis and every morning you'll get so much news. But thank you, listeners, for tuning in. We've really enjoyed chatting with you today about love, relationships, and dating. We'll catch you next time. But for now, we gotta go.
We gotta
go. Bye.